Hi everyone, I'm Rachel and I'm going on the Disney Cultural Exchange program. If you couldn't tell by my accent, I'm from New Zealand and I thought I'd film my experience since there's not much information about it from a Kiwi, and also I wanted to film the rest of my journey because I'd like to be able to look back on it someday. So the whole process starts by sending in an application. I did this in July, however the applications opened so much sooner than that. And then I found out in early August that I had an interview and I therefore booked my time slot. The time slot we were given was in September. For my city it was the 25th, so late September, and they were interviewing the whole 2 weeks of like the end of September for the whole of New Zealand. So the application isn't too hard. You just add a CV and a letter of motivation. The letter of motivation is a cover letter. So it's just about why you want to work for the company. And then there's a few other information that's to add in about like your contact details and where you go to school, and just trying to figure out if you're actually eligible to be doing the program. So the interview day starts with a presentation. This lasts about an hour and it is mandatory to be there, so make sure you sign into it. And it's just discussing the company and there's a bit of trivia in there, and it's just a enjoyable time to hype you up for the interview. So for me, there were 2 people interviewing, so they were each interviewing a person at a time. The interviews definitely were running fast, so make sure you're there early because they started my time slot 10 to 15 minutes earlier than we were given, but we were there in time, so it was fine. The interview itself starts with the cast member asking questions about eligibility. This is for many reasons, but some of the questions they ask are you a student? When did you start studying? Have you worked for Disney before? And have you worked in America before? For me, I have personally worked in America before and it was all right that I had. They just asked me more questions about my visa, and then they went on to ask about some previous work experience. After asking about work experience, they then asked me what my top 3 positions would be because their system was down. So normally you'd fill in prior to the interview these positions. I had some questions about some of them, so I asked them then, and then I gave them my top 3, and then they'd ask a few other questions around the positions to see which one I'd be best suited for. This is also because they have limited spaces in them. They said in our presentation that they only had 3 character attendant roles going for the whole of New Zealand and Australia, and only 1 character performer role. So they're very limited, so they were trying to make sure that they choose the right person for all of the roles. So at the end of the interview, they ask if you have any questions, and that's about it. So overall, it's a quite easy and painless process. They only spent about 5 minutes interviewing me, but they said from about 5 to 15 minutes is what to anticipate. But they go through them all very fast, especially if they're running on a tighter schedule that day, because it really depends on how much people they have to interview overall. So once the interview's over, it's just a waiting game to see when you're going to get the email saying whether or not you got in or you didn't. So it's been a couple of weeks since I filmed the rest of this video. I just wanted to update on how long it takes to get an email back from Disney about whether you got in or not. Unfortunately, the people who did get rejected did find out about the weekend after. I interviewed on the 25th of September, and then on the 11th of October I found out that I got in. So it had been just over 2 weeks for me. And otherwise, that's the whole of the interview process. Bye.